Welcome everybody to my channel. This is Kinda Crafty Kenzie and I am Kenzie, and in today's video I am featuring 15 St. Patrick's Day tier tray cuties. So I am so excited that you clicked on this video. You are gonna love them. If you aren't subscribed, make sure you subscribe before you go. Put a little Kenzie in your day. Give this video a big thumbs up, and now let's go. For cutie number 1, I'm just going to repurpose this old little block tabletop decor that I had from Walmart. I just covered it with white chalk paint. I gave it 2 good coats. Printed out this little shamrock cutie on my Cricut. Added a little wood shamrock that I had gotten from a Hobby Lobby. I just painted it in the moss green by Waverly and just simply glued it to the top. Added a little bit of twine to make a little jute twine bow there, and this little cutie, no pun intended, is all done. For cutie number 2, I'm just taking a whole bunch of the tumbling tower blocks that you get from the Dollar Tree. I just pieced a whole bunch together, as you can see, just like stack them together to make them wider. And then I pieced them all together to make like one straight line. And I'm just going to do that. I think I do it 3 or 4 more times, but I'm going to shorten it up. It's really hard for me to explain for some reason, so at the end I'm going to show you exactly what it looks like, and you can screenshot it or pause the video or whatever you want to do to see exactly how many little tumbling tower blocks I used. But really you could use as many as you wanted to make this as big as you wanted. This is simply going to be a little leprechaun's hat, and I just thought this was so adorable and so easy. And what a fun way to use up some of these tumbling tower blocks, because I have a ridiculous amount of these in my stash, so I just definitely need to use them. So as you can see, I showed you a little bit, but I'm going to slow it down here for a second where you can pause and then go ahead and see how many I have added. So after that, I just went ahead and covered it with the Fern Green by Waverly. I'm not crazy about this green. I like the green I used in the DIY previously on the little shamrock, but I did want to have 2 greens, so I went with this one as well. Anyways, I just covered this entire little hat with that green, and then I went ahead and grabbed this ribbon from Hobby Lobby and simply wrapped it around the hat like a brim. I just hot glued it to the back, as you can see, and now I am just going to add another one of these little shamrocks in that moss green and just simply attach it to the top. And this little shamrock, well, leprechaun hat, is done. For cuties number 3 and 4, I'm just going to recycle these little shamrock blocks that I had either gotten from Dollar General or Walmart like 6 years ago. I decorated for St. Patrick's Day like one time in my life, like 6 years ago, so these are from then. So I didn't really care for the color of them. I definitely didn't care for the gold glitter, so I just painted over that. This one, I just went ahead and painted it with that dark fern green by Waverly, and I did bring back some of my, stitching pattern. I do this every once in a while. I think it's really cutesy, and for some reason I think St. Patrick's Day decor is cutesy, so I just went ahead and cutesied it some more by adding some stitching. So I stitched it and everything front and back, and then I wrapped the jute twine around it like you can see, and then just added a jute twine hand bow to the front of that one, and that one is all done. Now for the next one, I painted it all white, but then I decided that I've never seen a white shamrock and that might be weird, so I went ahead and covered it with that beautiful moss green chalk paint, also by Waverly, and then I did add in some of that white stitching, and I left the edges of this shamrock, as you can see, white, and this is definitely my favorite of the 2. I think it's so pretty. Don't look at my little bit of coloring on the lines. Again, I just attached a little jute twine bow to that one as well, and these 2 are all done, and I think they're perfect for a tier tray or even a shelf. I just think they're so cute. Interrupt these adorable DIYs for a quick public service announcement. I just want to take a moment and thank all of my sweet subscribers for all of your love and support. all of your comments, your likes, everything you guys do have gotten me to where I am here on YouTube today. I definitely could not and would not be here without you guys, so thank you so much. And if you are new here today, welcome. My name is Kenzie, aka Mackenzie, and I am a stay-at-home mom to 3 little girls, and I just happen to be DIY obsessed. So if you love things to do with DIY and crafting, repurposing, thrifting, upcycling, etc., you are going to love it here. That is what this channel is all about, and I would love for y'all to go ahead and hit that subscribe button before you leave and join my little crafty family here on YouTube. You can also follow me over on Pinterest, Instagram, and Facebook. All of those links are in my description box below and in my bio here on YouTube. Now let's get into some more crafts. For this next cutie number 5, you're getting a twofer, a 2-in-1. I did both sides of this so you could interchange it. On one side, I am going to just leave it this plain fern green chalk paint by Waverly, and on the other side, I am going to cut out a little piece of scrapbook paper from Hobby Lobby and just apply it with some school glue. I sanded down any of the edges that were kind of still sticking out. Again, guys, that's so stinking satisfying. Then I just went ahead and wrapped some jute twine around this entire thing. I attached one of those little natural shamrocks to one side, and then I tied a little bow for the other side. And like I said, I love that it is double-sided, because then you can move it around your tier tray, flip to which side would match your other items better, and it's just too cute. For cutie number 6, I'm going to use one of these mason jars from the Dollar Tree. I removed everything and sanded the holy glitter off of it. So then, after I had it all sanded, I did decide to go ahead and paint the one side with that fern green chalk paint, just so it didn't have that look on that side. And then the side I'm actually going to DIY, I am painting with the white Waverly, and I covered that entire side in the top and even down the sides of this jar. Oh, and don't forget the bottom. After that, I took that little piece that I removed off the top, like the lid of the jar. I painted it in that beautiful moss green, and then I just took my sander over it a couple times to bring out a little bit of that natural metal look. Now I'm just going to wrap some jute twine around it, like to kind of, you guys know what I mean, when the mason jar, the lid meets the jar. We all do it. Then I attached one of those little shoestring, nope, that's a double, well, that's a shoestring bow, but that's like a quadruple shoestring bow. I went ahead and attached that, and then again, one of those little shamrocks. This one says Lucky, from that pack from Hobby Lobby. As I always say, what's a tier tray without a rolling pin? So I am just going to paint the rolling part of this rolling pin with that fern green, the darker green chalk paint. I left the handles the natural tone on purpose. I printed out this cute little lucky word with the 2 little shamrocks on either side from my Cricut, and then I just went ahead and covered the one end with some jute twine, and then just tied a little tiny bow and attached to it. And how cute, and just too ridiculously easy. For cutie number 7, I think this is so easy. I'm just grabbing a salt or pepper shaker from the Dollar Tree. I removed the lid. I thought that I would paint it and reapply it, but it ended up not working in the end. The floral I used would not fit in the little holes of the little salt or pepper shaker lid. So as you can see, I just covered this little jar with white chalk paint. I gave it 2 coats, and I did not sand it. I didn't want any of the glass to come through. I just wanted it a real nice, pretty solid white. I took a little bit of this really pretty green satin ribbon from Dollar Tree and just did a double kind of knot tie looking thing around it, and then I dovetailed the tails. Now I'm going to use some of this green and white sprigs from Hobby Lobby, but I ended up not liking the green. It did not match the rest of my stuff at all, so I just skipped that and went for the white ones. Added in a little bit of greenery that I have left over from Walmart, and this one is so simple but perfect for St. Patrick's Day. Cutie number 8, I am going to use one of these adorable little cutting boards from Amazon. I will link these below for you guys, and I just painted it white. Then I went ahead and grabbed one of these shamrocks from that pack I got from Hobby Lobby. I did add some white stitching around the edge of it. I use a lot of stitching in this video, so I hope I don't trigger anybody. I know sometimes stitching can trigger people, so I'm sorry if that's one of you. But like I said, I think it's cute, and I wanted these to be kind of cutesy. So then I just simply applied the shamrock to the face of this little tiny cutting board, and then I just tied a little jute twine hanger through the little hole. I did put it on one of my little mini easels that I also get from Amazon that I'll also link for you guys to display it, and I think this is so adorable. Cutie number 9, I am going to repurpose one of these little pallet signs that I had made in a tier tray video for last spring. It just wasn't meshing with my vibe anymore, so I decided to redo it. I just painted the entire thing white, painted one of these little shamrocks again from a pack from Hobby Lobby, and then I just went ahead and super glued it to the palette. Now I'm just going to tie some jute twine around the top and the bottom, as you can see, and this DIY is all done. Cutie number 10, I think, and we'll find out in the end, I guess. I grabbed this kind of squatty, larger house sign from Dollar Tree. I was able to remove that backing, and I just went ahead and ripped as much paper as I could off of it. Then I painted the edge, you know, like the frame of this in white chalk paint, very sloppily painted. I didn't try to be pretty with it or anything. As you can see, I did cover the back part of this little frame with that same scrapbook paper from Hobby Lobby. I don't know what happened to the footage of me doing that, but obviously you can see it's not that hard to do. So then I just went ahead and hot glued the frame back onto the backing. I did color in some of the areas that were kind of gapped out with some white chalk paint so it didn't look like a big hole. Of course, I could not find a C. I was going to spell out the word lucky, and I don't have a C, so I decided to use a Q, because whoever uses a Q, and I went ahead and just cut it to work anyway. I've made an O out of Q's, and now I'm making C's, so whatever. Then I left this lucky word in its natural tone, but I did go ahead and stitch it with some black chalk paint marker. I will link my chalk paint markers below too for you guys. I also get those from Amazon, and I love them. And then I just went ahead and attached those down onto the backing of this, and then just tied a simple little shoelace bow. I think I like quadrupled it or doubled it or something and just to the top of the little roof, and this little sign is all done. For Cutie number 11, I'm going to use another one of those shamrocks from a pack you get from Hobby Lobby. I just drilled a little hole in the top because I am actually going to make this into a beaded garland with a tassel. So I did go ahead and paint my shamrock in that same moss green color, and then I went ahead and painted a bunch of beads in the same color, along with leaving some natural and then some white. As you can see, I did stitch this shamrock as well, and I am beading these beads on, or stringing these beads on rather, with a white, kind of more like a yarn, and it is a little bit more difficult to work with because it's softer. It's not hard to string beads onto, but to make a tassel, it gave me a headache. So I did fight with this tassel, so I do apologize. I am not going to have a tassel tutorial on this DIY, but I will very, very soon, I promise. So as you can see, I just used different size beads, different colors, like I said, and then in the end, I went ahead and tied a brown jute twine bow to the top of this to go ahead and bring out that natural tone of the beads as well. And I think this is so pretty and soft and subtle, and I absolutely love this one. Cutie number 12, remember that gnome we popped off that sign not too long ago? Well, he's back. So I am going to turn him into a St. Patrick's Day gnome simply by painting over his little beard with some white chalk paint. It was full of glitter, so of course it will be textured, which is okay. It just won't be glittery now. I colored his hat in that fern green color, and I wasn't worried about fixing where I tore off that paper because I am going to give him back a nose. You can see that I colored the rest of his little body in a different green. That was a chalk paint marker that I ended up not caring for in the end, so I didn't even explain it. And then I did the same thing with a black paint marker on his little feet. Now I am going to attach some of this ribbon from Hobby Lobby that I used earlier onto the brim of his little hat, and then I just took a half bead that I get from Amazon and I used that as his nose instead of that little piece of cardboard. And then, like I said, when I came back the next day to look at him, I was like, I really don't like this green. So I just got the tiniest brush I could find, and I took my time and just painted this. And it really wasn't that hard. I just hate tedious painting like this. I don't know. Of course, I stitched his hat just because we're stitching in this video, guys, if I didn't say so enough. And then I just added some little tumbling tower. No, those aren't tumbling tower blocks. Those are those little squares from Dollar Tree. And then I did use one tumbling tower block to give this guy a little bit of a stand to stand up. He was definitely a little difficult to get to stand, but he did it in the end. And I like these colors much better. And I think he's a perfect little St. Patrick's Day gnome. Every tier tray needs a stack of books, so for Cutie number 13, we're going to go ahead and make some for St. Patrick's Day. I grabbed one of those little boxes from the Dollar Tree again, and then I just went ahead and covered this entire thing in white chalk paint. Now I am taking some of that moss green chalk paint, and I am just painting the middle book, I guess you could say, in that color. I did it on both sides, that way if you would happen to flip it over, you would see it, but I'm only really DIYing the one side. I printed out Happy St. Patrick's Day with my Cricut and just simply used those for titles of the book. And then I just simply added those on. I did distress over the letters with a little bit of white chalk paint when it was all said and done. So it did lighten up the green a little bit, but I think it still looks really, really nice. Now I'm going to, are you guys tired of seeing these shamrocks yet from Michael's? Michael's must be talking about me. Yeah, I did just place an order. But anyways, these are from Hobby Lobby. So I painted it the same green as the one book, but I didn't like that green on green. So I did go ahead over and distress it a good bit with some white, attached a jute twine bow, and there you go. I think these are adorable and so perfect for tier trays. So I somehow messed up count somewhere because I know for a fact this is DIY number 15, and I got this little block of wood from Michael's way, way back. I think you can get something similar from Dollar Tree as well, but guys, pay attention to Michael's little pieces of wood like this, and even their crate boxes. They're usually only 99 cents. Sometimes you get them for 50, and we all know now that's cheaper than Dollar Tree. So as you can see, I just painted it white, and then I sanded down the front edges of this. I went ahead and printed out that adorable little pot of gold with like the little floating shamrocks. I did take off the shamrocks because I wanted to bring in a 3D one with a little bit of green, and of course those came from Hobby Lobby again. But as you can see, I just applied my little pot of gold down, distressed over it with a little bit of white chalk paint, attached that little shamrock with a little heart cut out, a jute twine bow to the top, and I displayed it on this little easel again. This is also a perfect way to display it on your tier tray as well, because this one was a little difficult to get to stand up. But that is it, you guys, for the video. I hope that you enjoyed all of these little cuties that I created. I absolutely love them. I think they are all adorable. Just enough cuteness, just enough farmhouse rustic feel, and I'm obsessed. So let me know what you think. If you aren't subscribed, please go ahead and subscribe. Don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up. Thank you so, so much for watching. I appreciate you all, and I will see you in my next video. Bye, guys.